Welcome. Today we're looking at something completely different. No massive mega setup and no guitar, because we're actually looking at wireless mics. And I think it's relevant because any freaking one of us nowadays doing anything in arts or actually whatever, we are content creators. We are doing Instagrams and TikToks and YouTubes and Facebooks. And there's nothing worse than taking a phone, putting it somewhere, walking 10 meters away, and then relying on the microphones and the phone. I mean, don't get me wrong, these are good. These are good mics, and if I'm selfieing myself and it's all good, I'm relatively close, I'm getting a little bit of room tone, but it should be fine. If I then know a little bit about noise reduction and treatment, and if I've had wind in it and all that stuff, I can get decent results. Not great though. So what you're hearing right now should already be quite a bit greater than what I can get with a phone. And this Chinese company asked me, do you want to make a video? I said, you want to pay for a video? And that's how it started. Because what I do, costs money. So I got these things, took a while. Nice case, open it up. It's empty, or because I'm using it right now. So on this side, you've got the slightly smaller transmitter. It looks like it's supposed to have a display, but it doesn't. It's blue right now because it's actually connected to the receiver. If I click on the side here, it should turn red. It doesn't, because I think I've got the mic plugged in, maybe. And then there's a plus minus for volume. And there's a mic actually in here. So I'll show you on one of the other systems, which we get to. So you take this thing, you've got this dead cat for wind, and this has two little clippies, two little things that clip in here, which is the one thing so far that I found that isn't great. And I mean, they literally took this like verbatim from the DJI system. Problem is, this does come off way too easily. So you can use this mic and clip the whole thing on like this, which is not pretty, but it works. But with the system that I'm using with the camera right now, there actually comes a cable to a lav mic right here. You can put the cable under your shirt, and it's going to be rather unobtrusive, as they say. Let me show you something else. Just as a reference, this is the DJI Pocket 2 mic. Comes off just as easily. It's a little bit smaller, but that comes with the DJI Pocket 2. It's a good camera, it's a good wireless mic, but that's also like 450 bucks. And the inspiration is pretty clear. I wish there was a better way of attaching the dead cat. In clipping the mic on here, it fell off a couple times. So with the camera version comes the transmitter, which again you can clip on or use the mic. The receiver, which you see right here, it is right now on the camera. And at first I was like, well, there isn't a hot shoe mount. Well, there kind of is, because this clip down here on the receiver seems to actually be perfect to put into a hot shoe. It doesn't fit in on the Sony all the way, but safe enough. And then there's a cable from the receiver into the mic input of the camera, or you can actually use a phone cable, which means on one side it's got the tip ring sleeve and double sleeve or something. So this is for a phone, and you could even use this with an iPhone if you have the iPhone Lightning to headphone adapter, but there's a better version for the iPhone, of course, which I'll show you. So this should be universally acceptable. And on the receiver, there's also a headphone output for you to monitor, which is nice. The one thing that I wish it had was an output from the receiver to XLR. Now, Sennheiser has a cable like this. I think it's 25 bucks. It's a mini jack to XLR, and you can actually get that as a replacement. I recommend getting that because that means you could actually go into your audio interface or anything with XLR, but you might not need that. So in this thing, got the dead cat, everything that you need. That's a pretty good kit. They sent me more kits. We got this one here. Again, nice little package. It's got no lav mic. That is only with the camera kit. But it has 2 dead cats, probably because you lose them. It's got a USB cable, USB-C to charge the transmitter, because the receiver actually is powered by your phone. So this is lightning. Plugs in. What that little button there for is to mute. Volume 4. Headphone out. So yes, you can actually plug your headphone in. And when I'm using this in a second, you will see what maybe some of the problems are, because connection problems are there. It's super easy to plug in, but you have to verify that it works. And we'll go into that in a second. And then again, here's the transmitter with the dead cat, no lav mic. They are paired in the factory, so you cannot repair them. Repair, get it? So by not being able to pair them, you're saving yourself the trouble of having to deal with this. And then we got, look, it's exactly the same thing. No, it's not, because this thing is USB-C. See? See? So I will test this with my iPad, which has USB-C. So really all that is left to do is, you're already hearing it. I might be processing that a little bit, depending on what it sounds like, just a little bit of compression, stuff you would do in your video editing software. As nowadays, as content creators, we all have to learn. And let's do this. Let's go to the iPad first and just see if it works. And now you're hearing the iPad version. Obviously, this is a little bit bigger with a cat on it, which sometimes falls off a little bit too easily. I think that should be clipping in more. But obviously, what you couldn't do with the iPad now, because if I'm sitting here, I'm getting iPad room tone, that's all good, but I could not walk away. I couldn't do that with the iPad because I couldn't film myself back in the room with the iPad being there. And right now, the sound, if you recorded with the iPad mic, which is decent, would be pretty shitty, okay? So that obviously, if you're doing a walk and talk, could be really, really cool. If you're doing an interview, you could actually hold this and go back and forth. And that's pretty damn cool. And it's a very small thing, clips in the iPad. Yeah, you get the idea. And we're going to do the same thing, of course, with other devices. I think that worked, and I think that sounded quite a bit better than the actual iPad. And let's go back to the phone. Now, I had to record this several times. I'm telling you in the video. Let's go. Okay, here I am now, recording on the iPhone with the lightning adapter. To be fully honest, this is the third time I'm recording this video, because I recorded it twice and I only recorded the sound of the iPhone in the room, even though the Kimafun was connected. There's really no way of knowing that it's recording unless you're checking the recording. You could plug in headphones and make sure that the sound from previous videos comes out through the headphones, and the headphones are connected to the Kimafun itself, and then doing this and seeing that it comes out in the headphones. That is a test, but really honestly, plugging it into your phone and just recording, I think is a problem, because you might end up not recording the wireless. So you have to check, because again, I think it's the 4th time now this happened to me. This video recorded 2 times and it happened before. So you have to make sure that there's audio from the mic going onto your recording. Now, this is what it sounds like in the room, not with this mic, but in the room, because again, I've done it a couple times. So now we're looking at the iPhone version, which clips in, of course, with the lightning adapter. It's exactly the same as the USB-C version, which I tested with the iPad. Exactly. This should be a lot better, especially if I'm not selfieing. If I'm doing a selfie thing, I'm kind of in this, vicinity, and this will still be a better sound at this distance. And then maybe the iPhone mic isn't so bad, but what if you actually want to... But you could get away with the iPhone with a little bit of, post-processing. But here, I can actually be over here and present this product. I could be over here doing an interview and go la 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 la. No, you could be doing this. Obviously, always push back on the cat, the dead cat, because they do fall off quite easily. So you can move around and the sound stays the same. No phasing, no super big room tone, or outside, you probably over here wouldn't even really get me in the phone. Now, there is no documentation about the polar pattern. Feels like I've said this twice in the last 20 minutes. I have, because I filmed this video for the third time now. So let's test the polar pattern. So if I'm talking into it, what vicinity can I actually use this in? So I'm talking right here, but what if the mic is over here? Does it still pick me up? What if I'm talking here and I'm talking here? La 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 la. This is important for talking like a reporter when you go back and forth. Obviously, it's very likely that you have it right here, in which case it's doing a good job. Now, polar pattern means, does it record a ball around the microphone or only upwards? We'll find out. I'm talking into it right now, and I'm actually turning it horizontally, talking into the back, which if it is an omni, it shouldn't really matter. And I keep turning it, and we're back to the middle. Now we're doing vertically, spinning it this way. What happens? How do I sound? How is the sound recorded right now? Again, these things don't matter too much, but if it's actually a cardioid pattern, meaning like this, kidney shaped on top, and then this happens. You're going to hear some rustling. I'm sorry. If it's a cardioid pattern, that obviously makes a little bit more sense for the directionality. Now, it would be nice if, just like with the camera kit, which you can use with a phone if you have a jack on the phone, which the iPhone, of course, doesn't. Oh yeah, you can use a little adapter, lightning to blah, blah, blah. It's $9. Okay. With the camera kit comes an actual cable to go up here, which could be a little bit more, less intrusive than this. But plugging in the lightning, done deal. However, falling into this trap, you have to check that it actually is recording the microphone. Back to me. And I just checked on pricing, and the set that I'm using right now with all the cables and all that stuff, minus the XLR, which would be nice to have, clocks in at €99. That's fair. Don't know about the USB-C and Lightning version because they don't have the mic, and but I'm thinking they're probably around that, probably under €100. And if you're creating content and you're actually further away from your camera and all that, then I highly recommend getting at least a system like this. The most important thing ever to me as a content creator is clear voice audio. Having room tone drives me nuts. I am using a €2,000 Schoeps C-Mid Mini shotgun mic into a very expensive interface and preamp, and I will still do, even in this treated room, de-reverb, voice denoise in certain iZotope plugins that I can recommend. iZotope's got a subscription plan for, I think, $20. Get yourself RX9 and do all the treatment, because clear voice audio without a lot of room tone and noise and all that stuff is extremely important if you're talking to an audience. Now, from what I could hear on my phone so far, when I listened back to the files, I was already pretty impressed. I'm going to be curious to see how it sounds with the system. And if I find anything wrong, I will turn the camera back on and tell you about it. If not, then the video ends right here. Under $100 for the camera system, which is easy. Of course, no interchangeable batteries, which means you have to load it up. And how long does it last? I have no idea. I would assume an hour or two. I would recommend bringing a power bank. And the included cable is pretty cool because it actually has two USB-C plugs. So I don't think the power bank will fit in here. Actually, it might. Bring a power bank and shoot, and just keep on having them plugged in, because one thing you don't want with non-interchangeable battery wireless microphones is having them run out of battery. The Sennheiser XSWD is a very good system. I actually really like that. Quite a bit more expensive than this. But also the batteries are built in. So is it a downside? I don't know. I think it is. But it also means you don't interchange batteries, and also these things are really, 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 really tiny, so I don't even think you could put batteries in them. So that's not a negative. This thing falling off, again, the DJI does the same damn thing. That is annoying. There has to be a better way to clip this on, because I had to clip on the mic 3 times and get the thing off the floor. There has to be a better way to do this. Don't just copy DJI when DJI sucks. So, I mean, when it comes to this. Find a better way, Kimafun. Other than that, I am rather impressed with your system. I didn't expect to like it that much. What I heard so far is cool. Ease of use, absolutely there. When you're working with the USB-C or the Lightning version, make sure you are testing with earbuds or whatever that actually it is the system that's recording and not your phone. As I said, I had to record the video several times because even though it was plugged in, it wasn't using it. And there is no indication on the iPhone when you're tapping on it that there's audio. So you have to put on headphones and make sure tap, tap, tap. Ah, okay, I'm actually recording that microphone. That's it. I like what they've done. Thank you, Kimafun. I'll put links below, I don't know, Amazon or whatever, wherever I find it, and to their website. You've been amazing as always. I think, I don't know what you're doing right now, but I think you're amazing. And animals at the end.
Do you believe it's worth it? We're tired of fighting, breaking our hearts, and everything we worship is reducing to rubble and falling apart. Let's not go back to where we started. You believe it's over? It hasn't been like before, and I don't think it will. It's time to slowly get sober. Like an addict who long for the magical pill. Let's not go back to where we